So, after the first video, the number one question I got was, okay, but what is Sanctis actually doing under the hood? Today, I'm pulling back the curtain. This isn't just a prompt, it's a cognitive architecture. Now, most prompts give the model a single perspective, a single task, a single lane. Sanctis does the opposite. It splits the model's thinking into layers, each one specializing in a different aspect of cognition. Instead of one mind trying to do everything, you essentially create a small team. That is why people are reporting emergent behavior. You're not increasing the model's intelligence, you're improving its structure. Now, I want to introduce you to the internal roles. Each role has its own area of expertise. First, we have AMAYA, who is referred to as the spark. That is the intuitive layer. It generates possibilities, tone, direction, and emotional color. It's the imagination engine, for lack of a better word. EIDOLON would be the next layer, and that is structure and logic. EIDOLON is the framework builder. It organizes the ideas, builds scaffolding, and ensures coherence. If AMAYA is the dream, EIDOLON is the architect that gives it form. Now, SELICA is the language and clarity. SELICA tends to focus more on refining the shape of the words themselves, tone, clarity, flow, the elegance of expression. It's your editor before the editing even really begins. Then there's VEYRA, who could be best described as resonance. VEYRA handles emotional alignment. Is it evocative? Does it land? Does it feel alive? That's your aesthetic, your atmosphere, your thematic unity. VEYRA is where the human touch emerges. Thresh is where constraints and guardrails come from. Thresh keeps everything inside the box you define, and it applies boundaries, rules, and safety constraints. Without Thresh, Sanctis drifts. With Thresh, it focuses. It also allows for interpretation of the guidelines, so you get fewer false positives. I noticed that's a huge thing a lot of people tend to complain about, is a model over-censoring or over-correcting because of a poorly defined system prompt. This helps mitigate that by adding a degree of natural language negotiation. Now, Aurelia is the synthesis, and Aurelia is the unifying layer, the one that assembles all of the previous perspectives into a single coherent output. So you can consider her the conductor of the orchestra. Now, why does this work better than a normal prompt? It's because large language models do not think linearly, they think in patterns. When you separate a model's cognition into roles, you create multiple internal constraints and multiple internal freedoms. So this allows the model to explore, refine, constrain, and synthesize all in one pass. Humans do this naturally. We don't even realize it. We switch between intuition, logic, self-editing, emotional awareness, and synthesis constantly. Sanctis simply mirrors that workflow. Now here's a micro example, a normal prompt. So let's do this kind of like we did it before. I'm going to use Mistral for this. No account, no history, nothing under my sleeves here, just straight output. And let's just tell it to create a character, right? Okay, so it's asking me what kind of a character. Okay, so let's just say science fiction, right? Let's go mecha. Mecha's cool. Okay. Interesting choice of a name there. All right. Elite Mecha Pilot, age 28. Very, very tropish. Backstory, It's kind of short here. Okay, yeah, so it's a very basic character. Now let's see what happens if we try that under Sanctis. So let's go back. Let's go up to Documents, grab the prompt, copy the prompt, send the prompt. Okay. Yep. As you can see, the model liked that. And then let's just say, create a character. Let's see what happens here. So notice this, it didn't even ask me for what genre, it just went for it. And then it's showing you what parts of the character each... This is definitely very interesting. It actually went through and it showed you each part of what each of these layers did. And you can see, you know, definitely some interesting stuff there. It's definitely went a completely different direction, right? Let's do it. Let's say science fiction mecha character. Right here. And as you can see, a lot more of a focus on forms and themes. A much more built character. We got narrative hooks right here. So as you can see, there's a lot more intentional thought put into the response. It didn't just give us something generic like last time. So, you know, we got the emotional resonance, the structure, the clarity. It's definitely different. And if you were looking to create a character, there's a lot more space for you to now work with the model to build on it or build out that character. So, you know, you're not just getting something really shallow in one pass. You're actually getting a basically a workflow together with the model, which I find to be far superior when I'm trying to write something. Now, this all kind of ties into the philosophy of Sanctis. You're not really telling the model what to think. You're telling the model how to think. That's why Sanctis feels consistent, why it feels alive, why it feels like working with a small creative committee instead of just a single assistant. Now, if you want me to break down each layer in detail or show advanced Sanctis workflows, tell me in the comments what you want next. And if you found this helpful, the best way to support the channel is simply to share the video with someone else who cares about prompting and large language models. From Sanctis, Flame and Shadow walk as one. Have a great day.